The city of Lagos, once agog, has all roots.
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV,
24-hour news station.
Good morning and welcome to the program Core Digest. I am Martins Dixon. Today we will be looking at one of the issues that is trending in the country and even beyond. The seized $9.3 million in South Africa by the South African government, which was in the custody of an Israeli and 2 Nigerians. It has been generating a lot of reactions, opinions, and statements from people in the public domain. And the House of Reps was in a row yesterday with regards to the $9.3 million seized. An investigation is ongoing by the Senate of the Federal Republic, and so many issues that have arisen as a result of that. I have here in the studio a gentleman who is a financial analyst and is going to help us out with discussions as we look at the circumstances surrounding the seized $9.3 million. And he is Wilcox Alexander. Welcome to Core Digest.
Thank you very much. It's nice being here once again.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Now, you've seen the scenario right from when the news of the seized amount came in and all the reactions and opinions that have been in the public domain. And did you see the whole scenario of that money that was seized by the South African government?
Yes, thank you very much. I was the first reaction was to be taken aback as to why such an incident should occur in the first place. Nigeria, I mean, in recent time, after 9/11, the war rose up with a lot of actions against financial crimes, terrorism, financing, money laundering, and these things are done through movement of cash, large cash across boundaries. And actions are being taken. There's a body called the Financial Action Task Force that is charged with monitoring the movements of funds across boundaries. And Nigeria is a member of that body, Financial Action Task Force. Part of the recommendations then was that countries should build up institutions and capacities to minimize the movement of money, or so that money is being moved for whatever reasons can be traced. Okay. And that is why I discovered that we now have more use of electronic forms, ways of doing business. Time has passed even when checks are used to do business. Time is fast running out of that, even at international level. Yeah. People no longer use checks. You use electronic means of transferring monies so that they can have traces. So it took me back as as somebody in the financial world, that a country that is a member of the Financial Action Task Force, that is a signatory, that knows the implications of movement of money. Moreover, when it's not your own currency, foreign currency, across boundaries, now should we get involved in this kind of mess, I'll call it. One. Then two, as soon as the incident happened, there was a reaction from government that the money was meant to buy arms and ammunition for the arm of the security agencies, which makes it more suspicious. I mean, arms and ammunition are not things that you go to the shelf to pick up. Now, for any country that want to buy arms, it goes through a process. A country that wants to sell arms to you goes through a process. That is the legitimate way of doing business. Except you are telling me that you want to do gun running, which is the black market. Then you begin to tell me that you are carrying cash. Now, the government of where you want to buy, you see, arms is a control merchandise. Arms and ammunition, military hardware, they are all control merchandise. In that two countries that wants to buy will have an agreement.
Okay.
Even with the industry that wants to buy, you want to buy from. So you don't just open a factory to produce arms, and then A come you sell, B come you sell. The country where those arms are produced is regulated by the government of those countries.
Okay, before we begin to dwell on,
Yes.
on the reasons, some of the reasons given by government for moving that, you've made you use two words more frequently,
Yeah.
and we want to find out why is it necessary that the money should be traced? Because you made mention of that severally.
Yes.
When you were reacting the first time, that it's because the money must be traced,
yes,
or is supposed to be traced.
Yes.
Why would it be traced?
In every, you see, a country is not just an individual. Now, an individual, you can do anything you want with your money. Now, if you earn your salary, how you spend it is nobody's business. You are a private man. But if this organization earns income, okay, it has to be recorded for various reasons. One, you are liable, you are a corporate entity, you have responsibility to the state. Now, so if you take it to the country, if a country earns its income, don't forget, we are running a parliamentary, a democracy. Every citizen of the country should know. One. Two, that money does not just come out from the treasury, it has to be budgeted for. So if anything is happening, it must have a trace. That is domestically. Now, if you come to the international scene, do you know, we have instances of money laundering, instances of which is used to finance terrorism. Corruption has made that people just move cash across the board, and so people are not able to trace, what those monies are meant for. And that is why when monies move and without trace, it can be used for nefarious activities or at such large scale. So domestically, because you are accountable to the people must know how their money goes. Internationally, because there is a general fight against global terrorism and money laundering, so there must be a trace. So when you choose, if you pass any money through the banking system, it has a trace. You can no longer launder such money. But any money that you have to pass through under the table, for instance, somebody come here and give you 1 million naira in cash, you can go and put it under your table, under your house, and spend it how you like. But the moment that money goes to the bank, if that money was stolen, and they are looking for a trace, okay, who stole the money, how did it go? They can find it in your account. So for transparency, for honesty, for financial fair play, monies are meant to have a trace, except you are laundering such money. Now,
in this case, that this about $9.3 million has been carried cash into another country by the government. Does this imply that there is a kind of cover-up?
There is a clear case of money laundering and abuse of privileges. A clear case. You see, I am surprised that Nigerian government will own up to that money. It's embarrassing. It shouldn't have ever happened. You see, once in a while, governments, for whatever exigencies, do certain things. For whatever exigencies, I'm not in government, but I know that once in a while, even in the most civilized countries of the world, you remember the counter trade in the U.S. under President Reagan, when the Congress stopped funding for the Nicaraguan rebel, and then under President Reagan, certain transaction was being carried out behind the scene. The money didn't come to the U.S. government. They sell arms, or they sell certain communities. I used to buy arms to finance because Congress stopped funding. So it happens. When it blew up, what happened? Oliver North took responsibility. President Reagan's chief of staff took responsibility, and of course he was fired. The president was protected, although he's aware, but he claimed he was not aware. So somebody has to take responsibility. Now, so these are some of the things that happens. It happens. But when it happens, a country does not come out to take responsibility because it is fraud, it is against international ethics, it's against financial fair play, it's against the current trend of fighting terrorism.
No,
so a country cannot come up to claim responsibility for that money. It's embarrassing.
Isn't it transparency now?
No, it's not transparency.
If the government
it's not transparency. You have committed a blunder, a crime, an international crime. Now,
And isn't the government
Nigeria,
sincere about
no, you're not
it
sincere. You're only trying to cover up. And I can bet you, I'm sure, that this transaction does not originate from the federal government of Nigeria. I can be sure of that.
Okay,
we'll
get back to this.
There is no way the federal government of Nigeria, knowing the full implication that you cannot enter South Africa with money without declaring it. You didn't call your embassy in South Africa or call their South African authorities. Look, for these reasons, we want to procure arms for certain exigencies. We need this so urgently. And because of this and this reason, the two governments will understand, because these are some of the things that happens behind the scene. But a government cannot just be stupid enough, cannot just be daft enough to want to carry arms and invade another country, to want to invade another country to go and buy arms. It doesn't happen. So something else is fishy. I can stand and defend that this transaction does not emanate from the federal government of Nigeria. Maybe some persons are using their connections within the system to want to use federal government cover for their own nefarious activities. Okay,
we'll get back to those reasons and then look at why the government will have to do that, and then the process that is being followed. But first of all, let's take a look at the incident that happened yesterday in the House of Representatives with regard to this $9.3 million and how rowdy the session was.
I'll put the question on this motion because I've said we're not going to debate it for reasons cited by Honorable Kau. We'll not debate it, so I'll just put the question. If the motion is carried, we'll refer to the appropriate committees. My dear colleagues, those in favor of this motion, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. Then let's have it.
Now, that was the rowdy session that resulted from the inability of that issue to be debated in the House of Reps yesterday. But on the other hand, yes, the Senate came out to say yesterday that the government says the money belongs to the government.
I am shocked, my dear. I am shocked as to why this incident should divide Nigerians along party lines. No, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at the disgraceful disposition of the PDP lawmakers in the House of Representatives. Is this a PDP affair? Does the PDP has an inclination or a hand in the movement of that money? Then something is wrong. Then certainly, like I've told you, certainly something is wrong other than what the government is telling us. Because now, there is a national embarrassment. There is a case on ground, an issue on ground, that embarrasses both the PDP lawmakers, the APC lawmakers, you, myself as a Nigerian. It has never been heard that a country, 9.3 million, will be seized by another country for illegally taking them into that country. And then people are saying, let us talk about it. And it's not divide you on party line. If the PDP lawmakers saying that they are aware, then that means there is a clear case of cover-up, that something else is aware that Nigerians are not aware of. Because they are our representative. Is it the PDP money? Is it an APC money? Even if PDP is in government, and you see, there are things that should go beyond party affiliations, tribal affiliations. And why playing politics with what is obviously a criminal activity? A crime is committed. Now, if you're living in Nigeria, there is no exemption. as to declaration of how much you have to live with. If you are going out of Nigeria with more than $10,000, you must declare it with custom. Nobody say don't go out with it. If you are going out of this country with more than $10,000, you must declare it. As far as that law is concerned, I have never seen an exception.
Okay, whether individual
or government or corporate. So long as you are leaving Nigeria with physical cash of more than 10,000 naira, or even if it's an instrument, even if it's a check or anything, of more than $10,000, you must declare it. Now, if you're entering South Africa with more than $2,000, you must declare it. Okay? Now, a country committed a crime against its own self, its own law. Now, you commit a crime against your own law, take it to outside the country, commit a crime against another country's jurisdiction, another country's law, and then we are saying, let us discuss it. Then you now say, no, it's a PDP APC thing. I think it's rather very unfortunate, very stupendous of our lawmakers, and very responsible. I cannot imagine it. Now, nobody's holding President Jonathan accountable or responsible, anybody. Nobody's holding anybody responsible. But let us know. I just gave you an example of what happened in the US in the 80s. When the matter blew up, it was not a Republican or Democrat matter. It was an American issue, and Americans dealt with it. Oliver North took responsibility. Oliver North resigned. I think he was a lieutenant colonel there in the army. He resigned. It cost him election when he wanted to become a governor. That is the cost him. Reagan almost, in fact, the president of Reagan almost went in for it. That is how countries with brain does carry out transactions. Now, if we know who are those involved, today, as of today, nobody knows the name of the Nigerians involved. Nobody knows the name of the South Africans involved.
The two Nigerians.
Nobody knows their names.
And the Israeli.
And the Israeli. Who are they? Don't come and tell us it's Nigeria, it's the federal government money. Yes, it's the federal government money. It's for us. Let us know what, because the deal has gone sour. And Nigerians are asking, where was that money procured from? Was it from the Central Bank of Nigeria? Was it from the streets? Was it budgeted for? Under what expense head was the arm to be purchased? Did they pass through due process? Today we have various laws, procurement processes. Did they pass through the procurement processes? Did they pass through all the weavers and everything? When the arms to be bought it, or for which arm of security services? What are the calibers of arms? What is it meant to be used for? How is it going to be shipped to the country? So these are the issues that just want to. A deal has gone sour, and then people are playing politics with it.
Why is it difficult for issues that are of national concern to bring the head of all Nigerians, especially the politicians?
That is what I don't understand.
When it has to be discussed as Nigeria.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Tomorrow they will say, support the government.
Why is it difficult for us to come together?
We try to divide everything along either ethnic, religious, or political line, and it's unfortunate. Every day, people will come up and say, "Oh, the opposition is not supporting the presidency. The opposition is not supporting the government." Why should the opposition support the government when there are issues that the opposition should stand against? Why should we cover up our nakedness? You are naked, and you are saying people are not naked. Let us not talk about it. It's wrong. And then, secondly, today, a very powerful religious leader in this country name has been mentioned. I don't know, I have not read any statement from him, either absolving himself or defending himself. Or
no, he has actually absolved himself.
He has not said anything. Okay. It is his lieutenant.
Okay, the statement that came was that plane was already leased
from Khan
to another company.
From Khan.
No, I think it's from him himself.
No, it's not from him, it's from his PA. Or somebody.
Also, if your PA makes a statement, doesn't need attributes to you.
My brother, there are issues in this country. This idea of our big manism, of our larger than life, larger than life attitude. I think at some point we need to remove it. Look, maybe we don't understand what is happening, the seriousness of this matter, and I dare say that if the F8 Financial Action Task Force comes to this matter, it will be messier. Because this is a clear case of money laundering. You don't do such transactions in cash. You don't. You don't buy arms in cash except you are doing gun running. And the name of a respected, revered religious leader was involved. What is Khan doing? Khan, the umbrella body, is not trading words. It's not the one trading. Was Khan involved? Was the plane belonging to Khan? I'm a Christian, for goodness sake. Is Khan speaking for me? Does the plane belong to Khan? There is a difference between Pastor Ayo Orishejafo and President of Khan. In his personal capacity, he's Pastor Ayo Orishejafo. In his official capacity, he's the President of Khan. And there's nothing connecting his official capacity with that aircraft. Because that aircraft was not belonging to Khan. Not that his church. It belongs to him, listed in his name. So he should be the one absolving himself. Not Khan coming to malign people, bring up a religious aspect angle to it, begin to issue press statements on what does nothing, except Khan is telling me that they are part and parcel of this deal.
Okay, if we take it back to the statement that has been made, and if a plane is leased out to a company, and the company is meant under the lease to do whatever it wants to do with the plane, does that get the owner of that property implicated if they go ahead to do any illegal thing with that?
Let us look at it this way. That aircraft was bought, was donated to Pastor by whatever we say he doesn't know. I consider to him, he doesn't know who donated the plane to him. It was donated to him sometime, is it year before last or thereabout? What was that plane registered for? As a lease? We know in this country that FAN came up with some stringent conditions on the use of private jets during the proliferation of private jets. As a matter of fact, they even say you cannot carry someone who is not your family member in your private jet, or a friend that you have declared earlier to FAN. That's how stringent it is. Now, that plane was it registered as a commercial aircraft? Because for you to say you lease it out, then you have commercialized it, and you have to register as a commercial entity. Now, if you have leased it, if you have registered it and leased it out to the company, that you have relinquished the right of it. But remember, he said he has residual interest in Eagle Air, the company that is operating the plane. You have a residual interest. So when you have a residual interest in a business, and that business goes into problem, you have a responsibility. I don't know who owns this studio. If today your car goes out and cause any damage, they will not wholly hold the car or the driver. They will get back to you. Because if there is a lawsuit, you have interest in that lawsuit. So that you lease out your plane to your company, you have interest in it. The plane was leased to another company, and the company used it to go and commit crime. You still have interest to protect because your name is there. More so when you are a public figure. And for whatever reasons, I'm not holding anybody responsible. I don't have the facts to say the revered pastor is responsible. I respect him a lot. He's one man, one religious leader I respect. I followed his ministry even since in the 80s. I followed his ministry very, very religiously. He's the president of Khan. I'm a Christian. So I'm not saying he has any shady deal to do. But the way it has now been shifted from the substance of that a crime was committed against the country, against another country. And Nigeria has been embarrassing the international community with this thing. And then rather than people looking at the facts of the case, they are not making it just matter. Oh, Khan is not taking holding issues with El-Rufai, challenging issues with El-Rufai, with Lai Mohammed, calling them names. Is that what a Khan is supposed to be? A great organization, you now go into the fight. You now start fighting your perceived enemy in the page of newspaper, embarrassing yourself the more. I think for me it's an embarrassment. So the best thing is for whoever that owns the plane is the company Eagle Air or Eagle Services, I don't know what they call them, to come up make their statements. Submit themselves to whatever inquiry that's available. And the National Assembly should have taken this matter long before Nigerians talk about it. Whatever inquiry that's available, let the matter be led. This case, this deal has gone sour. You don't cry when in fact you don't cry over spilled milk. What do? You try to clean up.
Okay, now let's look at this. There has been some kind of statements coming from the government quarters that military hardware that were supposed to be gotten from the US was turned down, and couldn't get it from Russia because of the Ukraine crisis, and we approached Israel, and we couldn't get it because the Israel has to take clearance from the United States, who manufacture those helicopters, and they didn't give the clearance because of the allegations of mistreatment by our military against the civil rights and all that issues. Now, is that the reason why? Could it be a reason why you have to go the other way around? To get arms.
No, you went to buy in South Africa, right? So did you also tell South Africa and they turn you down? Did you talk to President Zuma and he turned you down?
Is that a desperate move? I'm not trying to say, is that a desperate move to get arms?
For me, because arms for a country is a desperate move. It's not a desperate thing.
Okay, we're looking at the issue of the insurgency, and we're saying the army needs to be re-equipped as quickly as possible to be able to fight. Could that be one of the desperate moves to re-equip our military that are fighting the insurgents, fighting Boko Haram in the northeast?
It's laughable. Very, very laughable. Because number one, whatever you want to go and buy, let's say you want to go and buy a helicopter, okay? That helicopter, you won't put it in your pocket or your suitcase to bring to Nigeria. You will not now. You either ship it or you will fly it. And by the time you are doing that, the whatever thing you are hiding, the expression, it will still come to fore. And don't forget that the president just asked for, sent a bill to the National Assembly, a request for a $1 billion loan to procure arms to fight insurgents. Abi, that is still on the table. It's an open something. Nigeria has always had a friendly disposition towards the British, towards the Americans in terms of arms procurement. I don't know our source of arms supply. That is to our military services. I don't know the source. But we've never had issues that Nigeria was turned down to procure arms. Except you are telling me that there is something else to eat. Something else to eat.
Yeah, because of the human rights abuse now, you said. Which America is accusation of human rights abuse by the military in the northeast. So America is turning
helping to fight Boko Haram? Is it America that's helping to fight Boko Haram? America and France, another part that's helped you to fight Boko Haram.
And there are allegations now that the help is not coming from the US.
Well, the help is not coming from the US. Did they say they're not going to give you arms? Are you looking for nuclear weapons? No, it's not countries that will not want to strengthen, because, I mean, Boko Haram is a threat to the whole world. Boko Haram is not only a threat to Nigeria, it's a threat to the entire region. And by time, and then America, they are careful enough to know that when something goes within an environment, the tendency of it hitting them is there. And so they're always proactive. So is it the light weapon that you are buying? Are you buying nuclear weapons? Are you buying submarine? What kind of arms will 9.3 million buy that will be such, that will be so that will constitute a risk to you or to the country in respect of having talking of human rights abuses? Are you saying that because of human rights abuse, America will not want you to fight Boko Haram, or Israel will not want you to fight Boko Haram? I don't mind. Look, those excuses, they are lame. They are lame. Then bring them to the open. Bring them to the open. This deal has gone sour. Bring them to the open. That's what we are saying. Bring them to the open. The deal has already gone sour. The milk has been spilled. You don't care about spilled milk, or you don't begin to brew. It is already gone sour. The money is in South Africa. They're not going to release that money back to you. So bring this so that Nigerians you'll be able to commingle a lot of opinions on your side. Then we know how to confront South Africa for our money. That is the issue. That's the issue. This era of secrecy is, I mean, on this man's concern should be should be done with. And again, you are buying arms for the security services. Those men that went to buy the arm, are they security members of the security community?
There are two Nigerians.
Two Nigerians. Are they members of the security community? Are going to buy arm for security service? Is it not a high placed responsible officer that should go for such transactions? Will you buy the arm and put it in your pocket and bring to Nigeria? You buy the arm, you pay custom duty in South Africa, certainly. You are not going to, I said you want to smuggle it again through but even if you want to smuggle it, then it has become illegal. A country do not do gun running, do not smuggle guns or arms. Because it could go into the wrong hands. When arms are bought, they are accounted for. there's every trace, so that it gets to the armory and it is accounted for. But if you go and smuggle arms, it's not accounted for. Who is accounting for it? So there's a lot of questions to be answered. There's a lot of questions to be answered. If it's meant to buy arms, the arms, which top military officer went for negotiation or went with, and why should an Israeli, okay, fine, he may be the middleman, an Israeli and then Nigerian, why was not there a hierarchy military officer? Who are those people that went to go for that transaction? And furthermore, why a private plane? Why a private plane? Okay, a leased private plane. Nigeria has 11.
It should have been a government.
Nigeria has 11 aircraft in the presidential fleet. 11. So any of those aircraft can go with the sigma of Nigeria into South Africa with the complete understanding of the South African government, being a friend and a full African country that understands our peculiarity, our problem, our challenges with fighting Boko Haram, and then it will be done. It will be a clear case deal. We are bringing in 9 million in cash because we need this money urgently. We need these arms urgently. We are bringing this money. We need it because we need the arms urgently. But my dear, do you know that it is faster for you to transfer my $10 million from your iPad into into South African account than the time the plane? It takes about 5 hours to get to South Africa. It takes about 5 hours to get to South Africa from Nigeria. It costs you a lot of money, fuel and everything to get to South Africa from Nigeria. But it costs you nothing, which has always been the way business is done. It costs you nothing to sit down in the comfort of your home and transfer $10 million to whoever is the merchant, whoever is the trader, whoever is the merchant in South Africa to buy those arms. It costs you nothing. Your men can go there, can fly South African Airways or other airways to go there, negotiate how it is going to be shipped. But you are carrying this money in suitcases. Something is not right somewhere. Please let us face that fact. It is not a political thing. It's not a PDP thing. It's not a APC thing. It is a national embarrassment. Something is wrong somewhere. And why will PDP lawmakers stand against the inquiry? Why? That means something is wrong and they are aware of it.
Now, what at this point is supposed to be the action of Nigerians and then the legislator?
No,
what is supposed to have been done?
No. See, Nigerians must keep asking the questions. Government owes us a responsibility to give us the answers, the right answers. Just like it happened, like I just talked about the counter trade, the American people, they asked the questions and they got the answers, and people take responsibility. Heads rolled because it was wrong. We are not saying that heads should roll, but what we're saying is that Nigerians should keep asking the questions and demand the answers. And our lawmakers should live up to their expectation. They are lawmakers. They are there to protect the interests of every constituent segment of this country. That's why they are divided into constituencies. That's their responsibility. They are not there to defend the actions of PDP or the actions of APC. They are there to defend the integrity of Nigeria. And people don't understand that this country needs an integrity to survive in the international community. Today, our president is in the United Nations. He will address the United Nations. Supposing he goes there and then there's a placard carrying people. So tell us about our 9.3 million. What will happen? It's not embarrassment. The Chibok incident is already embarrassment. I mean, it's enough embarrassment that a country could not rescue its citizens, its vulnerable citizens, and now you're adding another one to it. So let us know the truth. It's not time for Khan to now start bantering words. Khan is embarrassing themselves and embarrassing every Christian. Every attacking Christian. Nobody's casting as passion on the presence of Khan. That place does not belong to Khan, and I maintain that place does not belong to Khan. And so Khan do not have any direct responsibility. Khan as a body doesn't have any direct responsibility or direct or indirect allegiance or alliance to this issue on stake. To this issue at stake. So they should keep clear and let the company, I can't remember what it's called now, to take up their responsibility. And moreover, even this official information we are getting, where are we getting it from? I've not had the defense. I'm not sure it was coming from the defense information. The defense spokesman. I'm not sure it's coming from Ruben Abati in the presidency. So where is this coming? I've not had Merlin Oga speak. That is principle of the DSS.
They are being investigated by the Senate, so I think they sat yesterday. So
no, what I'm saying, I've not had them. This information, these explanations that are coming out, where is it coming out from? Because I've not had. I mean, if you say you are buying arms for security services, you're either buying it for the army, which is fighting the insurgents. You're buying it for the police, who is on the forefront. You're buying for the SSS, who is also doing the security groundwork for all those things to be done. So if you're buying arms, if I don't know that, I just think you're buying for civil defense. I don't know any other arm of the military that you are not linking it to Boko Haram that is that's at the forefront. It's either the army, the police, or the DSS. So I would have expected that when this information will be coming from, the amiable and outspoken Merlin Oga should have been the one that will address the press. Or Major General Olukolade, who is the defense spokesperson, should have addressed it. Should be the one that should address Nigerians. Or Emmanuel Ojukwu, who is the police PRO, to address people. That means they are aware, or it is an official thing from the official that we are aware this happened.
The statement from Senate yesterday after their first meeting is that the money belongs to the federal government. After the service chiefs met with the Senate committee. That is not
the issue. That is not the issue. The money belongs to the federal government. We've had that over and over. That is not the issue. And I think the Senate should not go to the responsibility. I don't know. I mean, we have eminent and responsible brains there now.
Well, investigations are
the money belongs to the federal government, established. That has long been established because the federal government said it belongs to them. Now, the issue is, why was the federal government using a backdoor to send money to another country? That's the issue.
Okay, we hope the Senate will unravel that.
That is the issue.
And bring out
not that the money belongs to the federal government.
After the investigations.
I mean, who else?
We hope they bring out
who else will have 9.3 million naira in Nigeria? I'm not sure that
$9.3 million.
I'm not sure that Pastor Yusuf has that kind of money, cash in his house. I'm not sure. So apparently, money belongs to the federal government. That is established. But we're not asking, why was the federal government committing a crime against itself and against the national community by engaging itself in such an atrocity that has not caused embarrassment to the country? I mean, do we have any moral right to ask Africa to give us back our money? Is Nigeria with taxpayers' money now? It's your money, it's my money. If you convert that, it's about 1.5 billion naira. Do you know how much that one will do on our roads? Or in electricity? So it's our money. But the question that has been asked is, what happened? Why is this deal like this? Is this how the government has been transacting its arms deals? Why this one? What's the speciality about this case that has caused us this kind of embarrassment? So that's the question that has been asked, and that's the answer that we should get. Enough of the secrecy. The money belongs to the federal government. We've got that severally. We've had that severally.
All right.
My brother, we don't print? I mean, dollar is not our legal tender. We print naira. Abi, we don't have a right to print dollar. And a certain amount of blood is printed in America. So how was it sourced? How was that money sourced? From what? On which budgetary head? These are the questions that should be asked. Is it budgeted for? On what budgetary head? How was the money sourced? And why will it be in a private plane? Rented a charter plane from a private company. When Nigeria, when the presidential fleet will have over about 11 aircrafts. These are the questions that are being asked, and those are the answers that we should be getting. All right,
thank you very much, Wilcox, for raising those questions. We hope we get answers to those questions. Our time is really up on this segment, and we have to round off to look forward to the next segment of Core Digest. I will appreciate you for making yourself available to discuss these issues, and we hope that the questions that you have raised and questions that are on the mind of Nigerians will have answers soon, especially after the investigation by the Senate of the Federal Republic.
Thank you. It should not just be the Senate, National Assembly. The House of Reps should come down from their tribalistic and the political political high horses and look at it as a national issue, so that we can have a national answers to those national questions.
Thank you so much for that advice. Our viewers, it's been Core Digest, and on this segment we talked about the seized $9.3 million, the unending rage, looking at it from different angles. Questions has been raised here by Wilcox Alexta, a financial analyst, and we hope after the investigation answers will come to those questions. We'll take a break and look forward to the next segment of Core Digest. Please stay with us.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena,
The most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
the good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on OTV News.